This poem I'm about to do first, because I was debating on which one I want to do first. So I asked God which one I need to do first. And I'm going to do the most recent one I've ever written and finished. The name of this poem is called The Last Confession Before Deliverance. And in the midst of writing this poem, because a lot of you don't really know me personally, but I am from St. Louis, where all the stuff is going on, the Ferguson thing. My wife and my daughter from St. Louis, and they've just recently moved here. I've been here for like 5 years. And I never thought that so much would happen from my city. And it allowed me to give fuel to this poem. And it allowed me to deal with my things because I know God wants to use me terribly. And I'm playing with him, and he says it's time to stop playing. So, this poem is called The Last Confession Before Deliverance. I am a sinner. I am what trouble is when it is starving for attention. And on the third day of my suffering, I prayed for the very first time. Forced to unlearn fear for the sake of survival, wishing that resilience came with receipts, with heaven and hell taking residence in a body that diagnosed me bipolar, the contradiction of hand grenades at peace rallies, rewarding stamina with testimony like it's a tax write-off, and my pride put tears on punishment into further notice, holding rebellion in a pen that shows no favoritism or lack of emotion, promoting freedom that smells of dirty knives hidden in clean Bibles. Translation: what are you willing to die for? Because the pride in crowns do nothing for kings but put weight on their heads and targets on their backs. And blasphemy says, who am I to ever tell God that he would never understand? Living in a world where sin spreads like gossip, turning prayers into these awkward moments of silence, all because I decided to purchase freedom from clearance racks, acting like conviction doesn't have a snooze button, finding every excuse to look for love in poems that are naive to metaphors. So I boldly ask God, is faith doing any hiring that requires any referrals? And I am still waiting. So to the woman that I first kissed, trading innocence for mixed emotions that I've sewn into the sleeves of every piece of clothing that I own, we owe no apologies for reaping what we sow, or forever trademarking regret in sheets like bees in mating season that justifies organized chaos. Because you were only the stunt woman to the woman that I married. No hard feelings, but curiosity is the leading cause of decisions that can be potentially fatal.
What?
And to my daughter, whom I never seemed to love long enough to reside in a heart that deserved your address, I am sorry for only providing you with increments of time that were non-refundable, or for ever thinking that love required too much maintenance. That became my pride before the fall. Like God was this babysitter that was always on the phone, that always had integrity even when it was inconvenient. When all I ever needed was an accountability partner. But loss prevention has been my coping mechanism for as long as I can remember. That taught me that love was not just some rumor claimed in religion or requested on Pandora stations, where discipline is not even used to disciple. It's like being a sniper with no point of execution. So on this day, I choose to no longer be a mockery of insignificance, a statistic, or burden to the inevitable, but love remastered in words that matter, like God's chosen, a husband, a father, a poet, redeemed, delivered. So on this day, at this time, at this very second, I am free.